So here is where the Girard Trail crosses Boughton Run, and it's pretty dry out here generally right now. A lot of the streams and the runoff channels are either dried up or not flowing very well. This isn't too bad. You could collect water there if you needed to. So, Oil Creek State Park, I have a proposal for you. Now, in my view, one of the drawbacks to the Girard Hiking Trail for backpackers is that there are only two places where you can camp. And if you want to do the whole trail, the 36-mile loop, then on day 2, you have to get from the one camping area to the other. And it is 15.89 miles between Cow Run and Wolfkill Run shelters, including the 0.22-mile side trail from the Girard Trail over to the Wolfkill Run shelters. So that's nearly 16 miles. And I think that for some people who might look into doing this trail, that may be a deal breaker for them, right? 16 miles is a lot for some people. And of course, I know that you can shorten the mileage by taking a cutoff trail and crossing Oil Creek, but some people don't want to do that, right? They really want to hike the whole Girard Trail. They want to be able to say afterward, I conquered it. I did the whole 36-mile loop. Okay. So what I'm proposing is the installation of a third camping area. Now, hear me out. I'm not suggesting that you have to go all out. They don't need to be deluxe like the other two. You don't need to build shelters. You don't need to put latrines in. You wouldn't need to provide water because here's Boughton Run, which could be a water source for just a simple camping area that is, let's say, on the north side of Boughton Run and right up here. This area over here, for instance, or maybe there's something even better just down there, but could be made into some flat tenting areas could be created and some signage put in here, that this is such and such campsite, giving people a third legal place to camp and opening up the option for people to do this trail over 4 days instead of 3 and not have to do a 16-miler. So from this point, Cow Run Shelters is 7.7 miles south. Wolfkill Run Shelters is 8.2 miles that way. So this way, people could do, 8, 9, 10-mile days each day and do it over 4 days. And I think that could really appeal to especially more beginning backpackers who are looking for something that is adventurous but is doable for them. They're not sure what kind of mileage they're capable of, that kind of thing. Potentially bringing more people to the park. If there were a camping area here, you could still charge $4, right? Still have to make a reservation, but you wouldn't have to provide all the amenities here. Just a place where people can tent camp, and there's plenty of trees here for hammock camping. So I think all you would need is to create that area and put in some signage here and explaining the rules, and maybe you'd want to put a bear box in here. But other than that, you wouldn't need anything else. You don't need to provide water because there's a water source right there. Trash, just make it clear to people, pack out your trash so there doesn't need to be a trash collection point. And you don't need to provide wood. You could say no campfires permitted. Or if you didn't mind campfires, then you could build, a couple of fire pits and people could, burn the dead wood around here. So think about it. I think, potentially more people would do this trail if they had the option of doing it over 4 days instead of 3. Number 2, I'm in a couple of miles. Drake Well is about 2 miles from here, and when I get there, I'm going to stop at the museum and see if I can get a tour, which is something that I wouldn't be able to take time to do if I had to continue all the way to Wolfkill Run Shelters. So maybe more people would visit the Drake Well Museum. Also, the way that I'm doing this over 4 days is I'm going to walk into Titusville and stay at the Quality Inn tonight, and then tomorrow continue on to Wolfkill Run. Some people might, whether or not they did that, some people might even want to walk into Titusville a mile and a half, visit the pubs there, the restaurants, maybe even the Giant Eagle, and then walk a mile and a half back to the trail and continue. And they'd have time to do that. So, your community partners in Titusville can potentially benefit from this as well. I mean, of course, we're not talking about a massive influx of tourist dollars, but something, a little more traffic. So I don't see any downsides to this. It seems to me like everybody wins. If there is some major downside to it or several, certainly you can let me know. To friends of Oil Creek State Park, if what I'm proposing ever happens, I assume that you would be involved in volunteering your effort to whatever might happen here. If you need another volunteer, certainly let me know. My email is in the description below.